Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our spring game. I appreciate everybody being in attendance tonight. Let me start by thanking the fans. I think we've got a tremendous turnout of fan support here for this football team, and I'm really excited about that. I'd also like to announce our spring award winners. Our most improved player on offense, J.J. Denman. I feel like J.J.'s had a really good spring. Somebody we're counting on to take his game to the next level, and I think he's had a good start to doing that this spring. On defense, our most improved player, Saquon Hampton, another player who I think has really made significant improvement in terms of where he started and where he is now, practice 15. And our Frank Burns Award winner, really our toughness award for the spring, goes to Nick Archdiacono. And Nick is a guy at tight end who really plays a physical football game, and we need him to do that with the style of offense that we run, but also does a good job of catching the ball for us down the field. And really a selfless player, plays on special teams, has been out here every day this spring and really done a tremendous job. And I also like to thank the Special Olympics of New Jersey to have the opportunity to continue as the honorary head coach of the Special Olympics of New Jersey, and to have the involvement that we do with the opening ceremonies down in Trenton, and to have their involvement in my charity golf tournament. Those are things that are very important to me and very special to me, and I'm honored to have an opportunity to do them. Questions?
Is there any difference decided this spring?
I've never felt that was a priority in the spring. I think the spring is more to set up the depth chart for the fall, and I think what we found out is we've got more than 5 offensive linemen that we feel good about competing going into next year. We've got some younger guys in the secondary that are making improvements. We've got probably a 2 quarterback race right now with number 5 and number 11. I thought they're both doing a pretty good job out there tonight.
Did anything change from the beginning of the spring to the end of the spring as far as the quarterback race goes?
No, I don't think so. I think both guys have done a good job. I think Chris is a little bit ahead right now, which doesn't surprise me because he's had the advantage of playing in the games. And now they're both going to have the opportunity to do what I think is one of the more important things that you do all year long, is take your program from the end of spring practice and make sure that when you come back in the fall, that first practice in the fall, you're a better football team than you were practice 15.
What will that mean for them? What will they have to do that? Is it just interacting with teammates, or what does that entail?
Part of it is building the bond that special football teams have. I think they're doing that already, but a lot of it will be the actual physical work of doing it, and doing it without the coaches. We're not allowed to have a lot of involvement. We're not allowed to have any involvement when there's a football. So they're going to have to be out there on their own and out here on their own. And the older players in the program are going to have to take ownership of that, and I think they will.
Coach, you mentioned Hampton was the most improved player this spring. Do you see significant playing time on the fall?
Those are things we'll have to decide in the fall. I don't know that I'm ready to say that really at a lot of positions right now, but I feel really good when you have younger players in your program that are making improvements the way he did over 15 practices. It's certainly going to give them a chance to contribute.
You mentioned the guys who won the awards. Is there any other guys that really boosted their stock with their play this spring?
I think there's a lot of guys. I think some of those young offensive linemen, guys like Tariq Cole and Dorian Miller, Derek Nelson, I'm excited about those young players and what they've been able to do, and now the opportunity to really study themselves on film. It's great to watch other people on film, but when you can actually watch yourself and see how your body's moving, it's usually a lot different than what you thought it was when you're out on the field. So that's going to be a valuable teaching tool for them in the offseason.
Talk about the growth and comeback of Jarvis Goodman.
Of Justin Goodman? Yeah. Justin's a really good football player and a guy who had an excellent spring, one of the better springs probably on our team, and a versatile guy. He's a 3-down back. What his role will be, we'll decide that in training camp. That's a talented room, and when we get back to being healthy in the fall, we're going to add Paul James and Desmond Peoples back into that mix as well. So we've got a talented group of running backs. Last year we needed every one of them to have the success that we did. Now going forward, we're going to have to make sure we find out the right way to use them.
When you look at the roster, is there any position where you need to build depth or just need to see improvement, you think, by this summer?
Certainly the depth, I think every position we need to improve. I believe that. If we're not improving at every position between now and training camp, it's going to be hard to win football games in the league we play in. So that's certainly going to be important for everybody. The depth on the offensive line, that's obvious. Being at the spring game with only 8, getting Chris Muller back healthy, getting Zach Heeman back healthy, those are going to be very important to us, and getting them acclimated with some of the younger players. And linebacker, another position we're certainly going to have to build depth as we keep going forward.
You mentioned linebacker. I know it just happened, but Steve, any initial?
No report yet. I'll get that after the game.
Coach, can you talk about the progression of Agadosi, not just what he showed here tonight with the touchdown, but all spring?
Yeah, another guy's had a good spring, and he's starting to make plays. He's catching the ball consistently. That catch he made in the first quarter was a heck of a catch. A lot of traffic around him as he made it. So, some of those distraction drills that we do, and Coach Campanile does with the wide receivers, you can see it paying off. And he's a guy who's come out to work every day this spring. So I'm excited about Carlton being able to contribute for us.
What specifically has Nick Arch done to impress you with that frame?
It's the consistency of physical play. That to me is, and there's a lot of guys that could have gotten the award, and we talked about, do you give it to more than one guy? And I don't want to do that. So we made the tough decision, and we felt he was the most deserving, although not the only deserving person on our team. And he comes out, and he's a physical presence for what we do on offense, and a very willing hitter at all times on the field. So he's fun to coach. He's a tough guy for sure, and somebody we're going to count on.
Was there anything that you wish you would have got out of spring camp? Are you disappointed in it at all?
I'm not disappointed. I mean, you'd always love to come out of completely healthy, and I just don't know if you're going to play real football. Some things are going to happen sometimes, and TJ having that ACL, it happened. It was unfortunate. He'll be back better than ever because we're going to give him the best care in the world to make sure that happens. But I'm pleased with the way this football team worked through the spring, and I'm pleased with the way they worked through the first half. I'm excited to see him in the second half.
Time for two more questions.
Coach, do you think Nelson is the front runner for Sunday?
The front runner? I don't know that. Chris Muller did a nice job playing center. I think Dorian Miller is getting better at it. Ultimately, I think it's the most important thing to get the best 5 players on the field, and that we won't be able to decide right now.
Kyle, Ray Rice down on the sideline. How did that come about? Did you reach out to him? Did he reach out to you guys?
Yeah, I reached out to Ray, and I thought that we had an opportunity for Ray to give a very important message to our football players, and he did that today. What was the message? The message was very simple. You can do a lot of great things in your life. You can do charitable works at home and in the cities you're working in, but if you make the wrong decision, you're going to have to be accountable for that. And Ray made a wrong decision, and he's held himself accountable to it. He's paid the price for it, and I thought today was an opportunity for him to deliver a message to try to prevent one of our young people from doing that in the future.
That was before the game.
It was this afternoon.
This afternoon.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you, guys.